Hello everyone, I'm glad to be here and thanks for coming to my talk. My topic is JavaScript testing framework under the hood. Let me introduce myself. My name is Yoshiaki Togami, student majoring in electronic engineering at university. I started learning Node with stuff like C language, electronic circuit, and then joined the JavaScript world. Recently, I'm Jest at noon, Rastashin at night. You can find me on GitHub at Togami2864. In this lightning talk, I'm not going to talk about how to set up testing framework, how to use ESM with test, how to learn test with TypeScript. I think many people have searched on the internet about these things, but they are not the agenda in this talk. Instead, I'm talking about how test framework is working. I'll share the basics about that from my code reading experience and show some demonstration in 10 minutes. By the end of this talk, you will understand the basic mechanism about test framework. It's really niche topic, but I hope it will be an interesting one. So let's get started. In order to understand what's going on, I think actually making Excel is the efficient way. So in this talk, we will build super tiny test framework. Our framework can test, including 3 basic test functions: expect, it, and describe. This is the most widely used API style for JS testing. Categorize related tests with describe, write test cases with it, and check value meet certain condition using expect and matches. To begin, let us consider a simple case with only expect function like this. This one will succeed and the bottom one will fail. How can we launch such a test file? This is the implementation of our framework version 1. The important part is the yellow line. First, we get all files contain .test. Then, read those files as string using file system module. Finally, evaluate in a try-catch clause. If an error occurs, it's caught and will print fail. Otherwise, it will print pass. When note that usually we should avoid using eval function built in JavaScript, of course. Now let's see what it's like. I'll show a success case and a failure case. You'll see that one pass and one error with stacked trace. This is our implementation in my local environment. Get the file path, load it as a string, and evaluate it in try and catch clause. We'll learn this script named v1.name.js. That's it. We run 2 tests and got the correct feedback. One is pass, one is the error with stacked trace. It's really an impractical example, but every testing framework we usually use eventually does something similar. Next, let's look at some examples that also include describe in it. Describe categorizes related tests. It takes a title as its first argument and a function as its second argument. It is a function to describe the actual test, which also takes a title and a function. The important thing is these functions are only for grouping, and the test results are determined by expect, as in this previous example. To categorize and process cases, it will be convenient to transform the test code in this figure. For each describe, create a suit that holds in an array and store the test cases in it. And then, by iterating over the array of suit, we can evaluate the test cases the same as version 1. So how do we express this in code? To be honest, this is a little complicated part. The implementation is divided into 2 parts, library and runtime. The library contains the test function like it, describe, and they will be imported and loaded to the test file. The runtime has 5 steps to process the test. Step 2 and 3 will be easier to understand in code than in the sentence. Let's look at the implementation of describe in code. Describe is an alias of the function called suit. It takes a title and function as an argument, and return an object containing the string title, the array cases, the function it, and collect. The suit also stores in a global context when initialized. The function collect is for running the second argument of the describe. It means that this is for running it function inside the describe. This function will be used in runtime later. The function it should refer to this function inside this suit object. While running collect, it is updated to refer to the suit currently dealing with. Next, let's look at runtime. Evaluating test file and execute describe. One suit object is initialized per describe and stored in the context like this. This is a bit of technique, but instead of using the import function built in JS, we use the import function to evaluate the code. The next step is execute the collect function of the suit. When running the collect, the function including it is executed. This is just JS function. After that, the test cases are stored in the array of the suit like this. Finally, iterate over the global context and cases to determine if the test succeeds or fails. This is almost the same as what I did in version 1. Now let's move on demonstration. This time, we have 4 success cases and 2 failure cases. Let's see output generated by executing our runtime version 2. This is test code. There's a 3 describe and 6 test cases, and we'll learn the script named v2.name.js. It's done. You can see that the test cases are properly separated for each describe. As a conclusion, this is what's happening when running tests. First, get test files. Second, executing describe function by evaluating files. Third, run collect function to call it function inside describe. Fourth, iterate corrected suit and evaluating tests. Finally, output results. Of course, there's a lot of features we didn't implement like hooks, mocking, parallelization, and dependency resolving, caching are the essential features for beta.dx. It's an advanced topic. Considering these things would be interesting after learning mechanism. Where's the bottleneck in the execution speed? How is the implementation of the test runner built in Node, Dino, Ban? Will alternatives written in other languages appear like Babel, ESLint, Prettier? This is Profoundness. To learn a little more detail than this talk, co-reading the production-use testing framework is the good way. However, I think it might be too hard to do it from the beginning. Before that, I recommend to read the blog post, Building a JavaScript Testing Framework, as a resource. This is a demonstration code on GitHub I used in this talk. Please play it locally. So with that, I'm going to stop talking. Thanks very much.